the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. Yeah, we Ric Flairin' on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairin', gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas. We Ric Flairin' on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, B-Face, yeah, Bubba C, yeah.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody? You are live watching OFFScript. And Scotty, I got my co-host for the Roundtable, my boy, the boy wonder, my boy Blue. What's good?
What's good, man?
What is going on? All right, listen, guys, I know you are in for a special treat today, but I do have to give you guys an update. Smash wanted to be on, but he's having a power outage down in Baton Rouge. It's a bad storm. He lost his power, so he's not. All right, but listen. I've been getting. What's the word? Like requisitions when people like ask you for somebody, like they making proposals. Like I have had this name. People have Scotty, you ain't nothing until you get Dr. Cavil. Scotty, you ain't nothing till you get Dr. Cavil. Hey, Scotty, bring on Dr. Cavil. He's here. He's in the building. You know what I'm saying? That's how you make. Listen, bro. Like, listen. It's like HBCU royalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like HBCU royalty in the building. Recommendations. That's it. Recommendations. All right. So please give it up for the honorable, incomparable Dr. Cavil. What is going on, Doc?
I'm good. It's good to be on, man. Too much. Y'all too much.
No. Listen. We're honored to have you onto the round table. I know you're a busy man. But once again, like I said, I am, man, listen, speechless. I'm glad you came on.
Well, they say you give the people what they want, and I certainly believe in giving the people what they want. So they want me, I'm here.
What they want. Listen, I'm telling you, Dr. Cavil, I'm telling you, I've had numerous Instagram messages, all type of stuff saying how got to get the OG on, got to get Dr. Cavil. You know what I'm saying? So you're here. So you've made the platform official. You know what's, listen, this episode, I'm gonna probably put it at, you know, the recommendation video when you come on, so people on the channel. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna take the Dion one down and I'm gonna put you up. And I'm like, I made it. All right. So listen, Dr. Cavil, appreciate you having me on. Blue, you already know, Boy Wonder. All right, we're gonna get right into it with the breaking news of Conference USA. We all know, we've all seen it, is losing their teams. Blue, Dr. Cavil, you guys, how likely would a SWAC team move up, and how realistic would that look to SWAC fans?
To SWAC fans, it looks real. I mean, they want to see it. We've been chiming for FBS, I would say maybe 20 years. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you've heard the little chatter out there. I think the time is right in terms of a move, but I don't think any of the FBS programs, any of the HBCU programs out of the MEAC SWAC, or even A&T, probably the one with the biggest enrollment that could make the move. I don't think any of them are ready. I think this sudden change caught them a little faster than what they wanted to be. If it happened in 3 years, certainly 5 years, you probably have a lot more programs that would be not only waiting for Conference USA, they'd probably be calling Conference USA, frankly.
What you got, Blue?
Yeah. I mean, I can't really speak on the whole infrastructure type of things. That's why, I'll let Dr. Cavil go first on that one. But for me, the latest breaking news is James Madison and Moseby State are almost confirmed to already have offers to the CUSA. So, those are the two FCS programs that they went after first. And then the rumor is they're going to target probably the top two teams from the ASUN, the WAC, the CAA, the SWAC, and they're going to offer membership to everyone. The Big South, when you look at a Monmouth and A&T, maybe even a Kennesaw State, they're going to offer all these schools membership because they're potentially losing even more teams on top of what they've already lost because of the craziness of conference realignment. So for me, I think football-wise, it would make sense to do it, especially when you have this much hype behind the SWAC right now. Just a Jackson State, a FAMU. I mean, the hype is at an all-time high, so why not try to take that? You have the stadium, you have the fan base, everything's there. Now, the money and infrastructure and things like that is a completely different thing, but they're going to get offered. It just depends on, can the CUSA, one, offer the TV deal to make it work? Can they offer the funding to make it work? Can they work with the SWAC possibly? Because this is what we saw with Texas, Oklahoma. The SEC said, we want you, so we'll give you a 5-year period to work it out with the Big 12. Would the CUSA be like, okay, a Jackson State, a FAMU, and A&T, we'll give y'all 3-5 years to figure it all out, and then y'all come join us? That could be something that we've seen conferences do. The Big 12 gave a grace period to Cincinnati, BYU, all these other schools. So maybe that's something that the SWAC, if the ADs at Jackson State, Alcorn, FAMU, whoever it may be, if they can work that out, I think this becomes way more likely than, a move like next year or something like that.
Dr. Cavil, let me ask you a question. Now, when we've also seen it in my short time that HBCU fans like their classics, like their matchup, likes their history games. You're moving up to a CSUSA. It kind of takes that away from you when you start splitting up the SWAC. How is the fan involvement going to move and matriculate as they move up, if they do move up in that conference, in a power conference?
Scotty, I'm glad you asked that question. Along what you talk about is that it would have to be a couple of HBCU going on. I recommend at least 2, but I think for it to really work, it needs to be 4. Because then you have the benefit of being able to keep some of that natural cultural association with classics, or new classic-like games can be kept. And so you need, in my opinion, the last study I did on this about 20 years ago, my recommendation that you had to have a minimum of 4 if they were going to join an already existing FBS conference, or look at 7 to 8 to 9 HBCUs creating a plan to work it together. I love the idea of Conference USA being a little more strategic and talking about, we will work with you to create a plan over 3 to 5 years. That would get some ADs, some of those aggressive ADs like Courtney Gaucher, frankly, Jackson State, Ashley Robinson. I know them personally. I know that would make them think twice. The problem you would have is the commissioner, Dr. Charles McCullen, is just as aggressive. And if anybody strikes at SWAC, he's going to have a counter move. So the plan for SWAC to think about going FBS may move a little faster, even if they look at splitting the conference where you have half the teams operate at FBS and the other operate at FCS until they're able to join the FBS and go get a TV contract.
Wow, that's a good move.
And I mean, I guess this is my question for both of you guys, because both of y'all, might have a better perspective on this. It's easy to cherry pick the top 4 teams in any conference to move up, but because of the classics and the rivalries, what 4 teams would you like to see go together? Who has to go together and who has to stay together? So if you had to pick 4 teams right now who you would want to see leave the SWAC and go to the CUSA together, who would those 4 teams be?
Go ahead, Doc.
2 of them that are real easy would be FAMU and Jackson State. Those programs in terms of attendance, cultural relevance, rivalries that somewhat exist, those would be 2 that I would look at. The next couple of ones become a little more challenging in terms of they have maybe the cultural relevance, but they may be short in terms of enrollment, or they may not be in the best location. So I'll give you 3 to 5 others that you would want to consider, not in any particular order, if you allow me to do that. So
yeah.
The next one, look at Southern, is one to consider. Some concerns I would have in terms of financially, would they be ready to really make that move? In terms of fan base, you all know that they're ready for that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Grambling, in terms of history, is another one, and it keeps the Grambling Jackson State rivalry, Grambling Southern rivalry. The problem with Grambling is their enrollment is not really there. The area is not really an area that any major conference would want to have, which brings me to 3 more that I would say look at that may have some other issues in terms of winning lately, or in terms of they would have the finances to do it. I know that in terms of supporting it, but they may have some facility issues they need to look at, which would be Texas Southern and Houston, which is going to surprise a lot of people. But as you know, conferences would love to get into Houston, Texas. Nashville, in terms of Tennessee State, they're having a little problem with attendance, but anybody would love to get in that market. And then obviously A&T gives you the Greensboro, pretty nice market, close enough to Charlotte. They get you trickle. They've been winning relatively lately. They have a commitment. They have the enrollment. So those are ones that I would say that you want to kind of buzz around. The last one I would throw out there that's close enough to Houston, needs some facility work, but their association with Texas A&M as the sister institution would be Prairie View A&M University, because the finances would be there to support a move from the overall governing institution.
I think for me, and Jackson State FAMU, that's a give me. Me personally, without all the overarching, just like what I would like to see. Honestly, I would like the Southern and Grambling Bayou Classic to be taken to a power to a FBS program. I think that would be dope. And then I feel like it would be remiss if I didn't say Alcorn, because of the winning stature, of the consistency of the winning. So I think them alone should be in consideration just for the fact of how they've been winning at such a dominant level in the SWAC. I feel like for McNair to do what he's been doing, in Alcorn with all the issues they've been dealing with and still come out with a winner, still be in the championship conversation every year. I feel like you got to give it to them just because off that premise alone. You now I know people like, well, they ain't got this, they don't have that, they don't have this, but I mean, McNair's going to build you something. I don't know. I just believe in McNair that much that I feel like you let him walk into a kid's living room and say, we are D1. We're going to, he's going to kill it. He's just going to kill it. And that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people going to say, oh, going out of money. I know. I'm putting my faith in McNair. In McNair, I trust.
And it's not even just the CUSA. I mean, we talked last night in the Twitter spaces about how the expansion isn't done. The Big 12's gearing up for another round. The ACC and Big 10 aren't probably done. And the Pac-12 can steal some Mountain West teams. So this isn't over. So we were talking last night in the spaces that the Sun Belt and an AAC could also be calling some of these FCS teams, including the SWAC, to say, y'all are in our geographical footprint. There's a bunch of hype. I think right now the SWAC right now would be one of the top conferences they're calling to say, let me get on this hype train. Let me get a 60,000 person stadium in Jackson State in the Sun Belt. It would be double the largest stadium in the Sun Belt right now with the attendance and everything. And then we were talking last night, it always isn't on the field performance. That has a part, but also TV contracts in Houston, TV contracts in Tallahassee. You look at Memphis and all these big cities the SWAC has. I mean, Jackson's a fairly big city as well in Mississippi, so you have that TV market. That's why you saw the Big 12 say, screw it. We don't care about geography. We're going to go get Central Florida. We want that Orlando TV market and recruiting. The CUSA says we still want to get our Mississippi recruiting line. They lost Southern Miss, so picking up an Alcorn or Jackson State would give them that pipeline to Mississippi. Picking up a Texas Southern would give them that Texas pipeline where they just lost Houston to the Big 12. So there's a lot of moving factors here where people are just looking at on the field performance, but TV markets, recruiting, pipelines, everything like that. And then also state rivalries. They lost Southern Miss, so why not bring in some Mississippi teams so you can have the Battle of Mississippi and the Sun Belt, the Battle of Texas between SMU and Texas Southern. Now, I don't know how competitive that would be right now, but down the line, it could be very competitive if you gave Texas Southern 5 years to catch up. So that is always the case when you're looking at expansion. So don't think this is the end, because over the next 2-3 years, college football is going to shift entirely.
It's going to be amazing to watch. Definitely going to be amazing to watch. All right, guys, moving on to the quick recap thoughts on week 8. Pick a game, a scenario that you thought about or you were surprised. And I'll pop it off. For me, it's simple. FAMU and Valley. Now, I was at the game. All right. I was in Itabena. It was amazing. I did not know it was going to be that exciting. I think, if I'm being honest, I think it was the best game of the week. You know what I'm saying? Just pure excitement. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was Coach Dancy he's doing something down there. And I just wish they could give him a little bit more help in what he needs to get that team to go over and really push it forward. That 4th and 1 call, I stand on it. I'm glad he called it. If you watch the film, it was there. The running back just literally slipped. And when you're trying to build a winning culture, you got to teach your team how to go get it. No team's going to give it to you, so we have to go take it. So that was my quick recap on week 8. What you got, Blue?
Mine, I mean, my biggest thing was Prairie View. The way they went into Southern and beat them like that. I mean, let's be honest, not many people, like if you were getting people's prediction, there were not many people predicting a blowout by Prairie View. On homecoming, down there in Mumford Stadium, I mean, they put on a show, and for them to put on the defensive performance in the run game that they did to shut down Southern like that, I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. Prairie View proved that they're legit this year, and I thought that was arguably right behind Jackson State over A&M. I thought that was the second best performance in the SWAC this year.
That's real.
Well, y'all went there, so I'm gonna go Houston, Alcorn, Texas Southern. Nope, not really. You know where I'm going. Prairie View, Southern University. Everybody hyped it up. Everybody thought Southern was gonna get right and blast out Prairie View, and Prairie View is gonna do what they've done the last couple of years. Not so fast. Close for a half. And then they turned it on and made a statement. So I agree with you, Blue. When you talk about it, it's Prairie View. And not so much that they won the game. I think there's some people that would have gave them a chance to win. Let's be real with that.
That's facts.
But the way they won the game just stopping the run with the team that had ran for 300 yards the last 2 weeks, and then to pound them and basically pound them into submission.
Yep.
Was the statement of the week for me in week 8, Prairie View over Southern 48-21.
Man, and
to be fair, I picked Prairie View and caught some flack with it. I picked Prairie View. I said it wasn't going to be a blowout.
Blue, you my favorite now. I know you.
Hey, everyone said my SWAC hours were too low because I picked against Southern, and now look how we're looking.
Yeah, you definitely did. I was
your midterm grades now.
I was definitely on the Southern. I gave Southern a little too much credit. All right, going in upcoming games for week 9, fellas. UAP, Texas Southern. Dr. Cavil, we don't give score. I know you're not gonna give this score out. You're not doing this on your channel, Blue. This one?
No.
Nah. All right, so you can pick the score on this one. But we don't usually give scores because we do videos later in the week. But if you want to give your score, you're more than welcome. But go ahead.
Pine Bluff, Texas Southern. This is a pick 'em for me. But I'm going to go with Texas Southern. I think the coach down there is desperate in terms of what he needs to do. McKinney, it's at home. They have been playing well on offense. If they can find a way to cut down on the turnovers, hold the ball. All right?
Yes.
To get it done. So I'm going to go with Texas Southern University in a close one, but they get it done.
Go ahead, Blue.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'm also going with Texas Southern. I mean, I don't think there's a team in the country whose morale is lower than what's going on in Arkansas Pine Bluff right now. I mean, even if you watch the games, and I mean, I know some of the players on the team and great guys, they just don't look like they're into it right now. I mean, they just look like they are just kind of sleepwalking through the season. And I think Scotty said this on this channel, they have not looked the same since they blew that lead to Alcorn. I think that took every bit of momentum and wind out of their sails. I have Texas Southern here. And when you look at the weakness for UAPB, every single quarterback has a career game against UAPB secondary. I think Andrew Body has a giant game this weekend. So I got Texas Southern pretty convincingly over UAPB this weekend.
Everybody know where I'm going with this one. Andrew Body, let's go. That's my guy. That's my guy right there. So I'm going with Texas Southern now, and I agree with you, Dr. Cavil. I'm watching the Alcorn and Texas Southern game, and the only thing that hit me was mistakes. I mean, just a young team. I mean, you're going in to score. They snap the ball over his head like he's 7'2". Andrew Body he rolling left. He trying to do a push pass like he Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? You know what I'm saying? And then you getting hit by Ian Kinsler. He's a dog, but you fumble it. So it's just one thing after another. They were in that game. I don't care what nobody says about, they were in that game. So I'm going with Texas Southern. And
they get a chance to recover a fumble. It takes a score off the board midfield, and the dude just jumps over the ball.
What are we doing? Like, that's the stuff you should be looking like. What is
that's
that?
Point shaving.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. But but the thing with UAPB was actually the most surprising to me was I thought the secondary would be the strength of this team with Thick Pitt and them boys back there. I love their mindset. I had Jalen on the channel. I love his mindset. But that cover 0, they got to stop that. It is not working for them at all. They need that defensive coordinator to delete that, burn that book. He needs to let that go. But I really think I like the kid that they put in for Skylar Perry. It's kind of flip and flop with him and the other guy, with Skylar Perry and the other guy. But Josh Wilkes, if Josh Wilkes has a big game, UAPB can be in this game. They have DeJuan Miller, Josh Wilkes. They have some guys that can go get the ball. They just need a quarterback to go get it to them. But I still feel Texas Southern, Clarence McKinley, I think he's doing a good job offensively down there, and they're going to get that job done. So I got it. 27-17 Texas Southern. These SWAC kickers, you can't be too sure. Next up, Magic City Classic. Now, this game, to me, I was looking forward to it when it first came in the spring. I'm like, okay, these teams should either have 1 loss each or maybe 2 loss each, but this is not the records I thought that we're going to have coming into this game. And not at all. And for me, I think it's a statement for both teams, and I'm gonna go both ways with it. Alabama A&M has to show that they can get this thing back on track and finish strong. We know the season's pretty much over for them, but you got to finish strong for what you did from the spring. And Alabama State, listen, Your coach might not be on the bus after this game if you lose. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be at the Magic City Classic, so I'm gonna let y'all know if he's on the bus when it pulls off. But I would tell y'all that right now. I'm just saying. But what you got, Blue?
Man, this is honestly, I mean, if Connell Manor loses this game, you go from winning a SWAC championship to next year could be your job if you don't turn it around. I mean, that's how quick. I don't care. Gene Chiswick got an extension at Auburn. Gene Chiswick won the national championship and was fired 2 years later.
Listen, bro, SWAC schools ain't just doing payoffs.
I got you. Yeah. But I mean, he's at least on the hot seat for the next 2 years. You better win something. And I mean, you cannot lose this game if you're Alabama A&M. I mean, then you're looking at possibly a losing record this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, that just can't happen right now. As bad as Alabama A&M's defense is, I don't trust Alabama State's offense to move the ball consistently. That run game hasn't been what it was a year ago in the spring. So for me, I just think Alabama A&M has a little bit too much offense. And so right now I'm leaning toward A&M, but I don't release my preview until Friday. So that could all change. But right now I'm leaning toward A&M.
What? Alabama A&M and Coach Maynard, he just signed a contract, so he's safe in terms of that. But you're right. That doesn't mean fans will ask questions and they will ask for a refund. Not sure they'll be able to get it in this case, but they probably will ask. And the opposite side, as you're saying, Dr. Hill Ely, if he's not careful, he's going to have to come over to the academic side with me and teach with his degree on the professor side. So you're absolutely right. It's going to be challenging, and he needs this game. That's why I might give the edge to Alabama State. No, not so fast. Alabama A&M has made some changes on the defensive side. I know you're saying they can't change that much of the defense, but a new voice at this time in the Magic City can be just enough. And I think Akil Glass is going to want to go out on top. Maynard hasn't lost to Dr. Hill Ely, at least in the Magic City Classic component of it. And I think he's going to find a way to keep it rolling. He doesn't want to lose the total momentum that he got from the spring championship to help with some recruiting, because he's not going to disappear in terms of SWAC East. Yes, Jackson State and FAMU now, but if you think Alabama A&M Bulldogs are going to shrivel and turn into puppies, not so fast, my friend. I'm going with Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs. Plus, my wife is an alumni there, and I'd be in trouble if she sees this video.
You picked against them. She's not going for that. Not going for that.
Yeah, I'm a real one, brother. I'm going to keep it real.
Hey, appreciate that, Doc. All right, homecoming. Grambling State at Florida A&M at Bragg. All right. So, question: how much of a chance do you give Grambling to beat FAM at Bragg? Doc, you got it.
Certainly. I give them a little puncher's chance. They are the G, and they have a huge reputation of finding a way to get victories, but not enough offense. I like the young quarterback, the freshman. I think he's going to be the real deal, but he just doesn't have enough playmakers around him to help him out. Unlike Body, he has some wide receivers. They just hold on the ball. Well, they can't even hold on the ball when it gets in their hands at first to even fumble it. They just drop it. So that's a problem for Grambling. And you got a defense over there, the headhunters. They're going to come get them. FAMU gets enough to get going. They're going to feel the intensity of that crowd, and they're going to be able to put a couple of points on the board, and the defense will take care of them not. And then they were looking past this in a lot of ways with Valley. Credit to Valley. They got it done. I don't want any of the phone calls. Y'all know I love some Valley. I'm not like Mike Washington says, Valley. Who Valley? No, I think Valley the real deal with Danzig. But besides that, they're going to get a wake-up call. And so they're going to come in really focused for Grambling. FAMU gets it done. And first half, it's close. They pull away, and it's not even close in the second half.
Yeah, I would say I give it maybe 5-10% at best. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get the whole history of, Grambling can upset anyone any day, but Noah Bowden has not seen a defense like he's going to see this weekend. Let's just be completely honest. And I mean, I think FAMU's defense is going to give him fits all day. I wouldn't be surprised if they got some defensive touchdowns even. I think Land's going to have a big day. I don't think that offensive line is particularly strong. And I really do think that this offense right now for FAMU is clicking on the running side of things. Bishop Bonnet has been a stud in the past few weeks. So I think FAMU really makes a statement this weekend, and I cannot see them choking away against, Grambling, especially in homecoming. And that crowd, listen, Scotty, you saw it when they played Alabama State. They were hyped and they packed it out. I can only imagine what's going to show up this weekend. I think this is going to be right up there with one of the best crowds we've seen in the SWAC. I got FAMU big this weekend over Grambling.
Scotty, they have a DJ for the student section at a football game.
I knew I should have went. The whole. Listen, I'm going. Next year I'm going. I'm listening. For all the FAMU Browns, I'm coming next year. I'm coming. I'm rolling down there. For me, I'm actually on. I'm actually like a 30% chance. Because FAMU. Have y'all seen their quarterback? Rashawn McKay can keep anybody in the game. Okay, listen. Rashawn McKay can keep anybody in the game, and you're absolutely right. Bishop Bonnet is a monster. Terrell Jenkins is a monster. That defense is outstanding. I'm not putting any faith in Grambling to just drive up and down on FAMU, but I do put trust in McKay doing something bad to give them a short field and Grambling scoring off of that. And I don't have FAMU doing what they're supposed to do, which is blow this team out. I had this game being close, which then in turns hurts their playoff push because of the fact they didn't win in style. So McKay is the if they had anybody other than McKay, I'd be like 0% chance. But when you got McKay, I might push it up to 47% while you playing because I just can't trust them. I just can't. But I trust the Bishop Bonnet. If they give the ball, if Bonnet touches the ball 15 to 20 times, this game is over. This game is over. So that's my thing. Oh man, Sean McKay, Jackson State, Valley. I'm actually really excited about this game. I really am. And what does Valley need to do to make this game competitive? Go ahead, Blue. Pop it off.
I hope I guess Dion, gets another player sick and he can't come with the team. Like maybe James Houston's got to miss. Maybe, Coitus Miller, Niles Gaddy, Nugget. I mean, you got to hope that something hits the team. That they get that Michael Jordan pizza before the flu game and they can't go. Like that's really what they need. I really don't think Mississippi Valley State has a chance. If they're going to, they got to run the ball. And you haven't seen anyone really run the ball efficiently on Jackson State in a long time. And with Valley's quarterback issues, if they got to put it up in the air 20, 30 times to win this game, it's going to be ugly. They're going to have to run for no less than 150 this weekend. And I think they might even have to get closer to 200 on the ground combined between all those running backs. They have to have a huge game on the ground, but I just can't see them. To beat Jackson State, you have to be elite on offense, and that's not Valley. So I think that's going to be their biggest setback.
Nothing.
Exactly.
But, hey, we do have to talk on the show, right? So let's make it interesting. And I hate to say this because people are going to be like, man, what you talking about, Dr. Field? There is a serious issue that you have with Jackson State. Scott, I think you talked about that. Offensive line for Jackson State right now is horrible. I mean, they're losing players. They're not playing very well. And so you always have the concern, as tough as Valley's defense is, and you saw it last, they will hit you.
Yeah, they will.
And Shador has been hit a couple of times and banged up because of that offensive line has played so weak. So the one thing that Jackson can't afford to happen is the old injury happen. And I don't want to even go there because Shador has been playing so well. But, I mean, you asked the question. That's the only thing that can happen in this matchup because Valley will play hard, and they will hit you in the mouth. And so if you come in there playing, which Jackson State is not going to do because they have heard it all week, it's a rivalry, so they're going to come in and push. But that offense has to figure out a way to get off the ball and push and hit somebody in the mouth and not just let everybody come by there and do the old late. I'm like, oh, sorry, look out, block.
Helping number 2 off the ground. Doc, I'm on the same bandwagon as you. I'm giving it a puncher's chance. When I mean a puncher's chance is like you need to land something fast, hard, and quick. Like straight first or second round. So my thing with Valley is you can't play scared. You need to take that 4th and 1 mentality and come at it with the first quarter, and you have to bring the house. It has to you just got to say, listen, we're playing with house money. Nobody expects us to even win this game. We're going to bring the house. And the way that JSU offense is clicking in the air, you can't give Shador any time. You just can't. I would live with them running for 200 yards on me today. 100, 125. Then you throwing it. I mean, I mean, God, dog, at Bethune, it looked like the Daytona Highway to the end zone. I mean, they just out here just streaking wide open, 100 yards here, 100 yards there. I mean, you gave Shador a draft grade. He a freshman. You know what I'm saying? So it just. I want Valley to come in with the right mindset to not sit back and take the punches, but to come out and punch. Once again, you're not supposed to win this game. So if you get blown out, you get blown out. If the game is close, the game is close. You lose, you're supposed to lose. So it's no winning in any narrative. So
yeah, you got a point. Jackson State wide receivers the last couple of weeks looked like North Carolina A&T's 4x100 track team. They just
talk about it. Talk about it.
They finally decided to let Malachi Wapner play. You can go check the episode that I made when he committed. I said this guy has the highest ceiling of any wide receiver on that team, and they finally let him get loose. Well, I mean, when you're 6'5" and run like a 4.4, who can hang with you?
Facts.
Not many people. He was going to dominate the SEC. So the fact that he's doing this now, man, is crazy.
That's what's up. Last but not least, game of the week. All right, Alcorn State at Southern. Now, the only reason it's the game of the week to me is because it's a rivalry, and we've seen this matchup numerous of times in the SWAC championship. But what I will ask you guys is, will the powerhouse, all right, Southern, show up and make this a game? All right, Doc, you can pop it off.
I thought they would because it's a rivalry, and a lot of those players have not seen a win against against Alcorn. So I figured that they were going to be ready to go. But I'm hearing some conversation out there that the coach was told, this week or something that he may not be back. And so if that leaks out, you're going to have some deflated players. So to me, that's the question. Is that in-house or has that started to get out there a little bit? But at the end of the day, I'm going to call the upset. This is the first one that people want to call the upset. Southern is going to come in there. Coach is going to get them ready to play, and we're going to put dirt on the Southern Jaguars a little too early. And they're going to shock the world this weekend.
Shock the world!
I mean, this is our game of the week on our channel too. But I mean, just the one thing that I'm looking for is one, can Southern get healthy, man? They're missing like everybody on that defense, and they're missing some offensive pieces. I mean, you've got to get a Jordan Lewis back. You've got to get some of those secondary players back. And that's going to be one of the things I'm waiting to see happen. And then two, can Alcorn keep improving that offensive line play slowly but surely? Because if they revert back to how they played against UAB in the first half, it's definitely upset alert because Southern has the type of defensive line that can get after you if you're not playing 100% on the offensive line. For me, I don't expect this to be, another replicate of PV because I thought PV was so balanced on the offensive side of the ball. And that offensive line, everyone talks about all these other offensive lines in the SWAC. PV is the number one offensive line right now in the SWAC, allowing the least amount of sacks. They have the second best rushing attack, all of this stuff, and everyone was just ignored it. So for me, I think Southern's going to play much better. I also want to see where their heads are at. You're pretty much out of the SWAC championship race now. So what are you playing for? How motivated do you come out? Are you upset minded? That's going to be something to watch as these teams match up this weekend.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that, Blue. Are you trying to be the villain? Are you trying to play villain? Let's play villain then. You know what I'm saying? Let's just start knocking Bama's down. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some type of energy going to the season. Listen, my thing is this, and I'm gonna say this with Southern. I'm gonna say something about PV for Southern. You got to get Ladarius Skelton involved way more. I don't care if I don't care where you put. First of all, if you're putting a quarterback at kickoff return, he's dynamic. Okay, can we just say that? The boy's dynamic. So you need to get him. You can't call him Taysom Hill and then you only put him in certain packages. He needs to be running back. Him and Kobe Dillon need to be on the field at the same time. He needs to be a slot receiver. I'll put him at the X for all I care. Put him at safety. Man, we do this thing like Coach Boone and Remember the Titans. Skelton, you're going both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to do something. You got to find any possible way to make an impact for your team. And you got to do that. For PV, it's simple. Be balanced, give the ball to number 6, all those stable of backs you have, and let number 1 eat. Dumas, oh my, that boy different. That boy 5'10", 5'11", killing the front like that. That boy different. Let him eat, and it should be a good game. I think if I'm Southern, you gotta go out and want this game because you know you're not going to see them in the championship like you used to. So this is the opportunity to play spoiler for them going to the SWAC championship. Oh, you gotta want this game. Got to. All right, moving on to the mid-season awards. All right, here we go. All right, first up, newcomer of the year. All right, and I got smashes in here, and so I'm gonna put you guys' everybody's stuff up, and then you can talk about why you picked the person you picked. All right, newcomer of the year award. All right, Blue got Kamari Everett. I picked Bishop Bonnet. Smash picked Santee Marshall, and Dr. Cavil went with Jawan Pass. I'm gonna pop this one off first. Listen, Bishop Bonnet is everything for fam. He is. How you would look at Shador and Jawan for their teams is what Bishop Bonnet is for FAMU for me, and him coming into the SWAC doing what he's doing, being the leader in rushing. I had to go with. I feel like I had to go with Bishop Bonnet on this one. All right, who's next?
I went with Jawan Pass, but I must admit I paused on Bishop Bonnet as well. He was one of my top ones. I was going back and forth, but I just like the total offense of what Jawan Pass has done. And what I really like about it is his efficiency. It's so far up there, and so people are just looking at the numbers. His third down efficiency on his team is really what allows his team to hump. And it allows them to stick to the run, which we've talked about in this league is so important. So even when they get down behind the chains and they have to pick up a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 11 or 12, he's still able to get it in. It's because people just don't realize his ability to scramble, but he doesn't scramble to run. He scrambles to pass, which throws everybody off, and he's able to nip and chunk and just take up yardage. And then his deep ball accuracy is just ridiculous. So his total yards of 2,033, sneaking in a little bit of run, but doing it mostly in the air is why I went with Jawan Pass.
What you got, Blue?
Oh man, listen, you have to go for me. This was the easiest one for me. Kamari Everett, to do what he did on the team he played on is ridiculous. He's 3rd in the SWAC in catches, leads the SWAC in receiving yards, is 2nd in touchdowns, and 4th in yards per game on a team with no quarterback. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? The quarterbacks are atrocious, and he is leading. Like he has taken the 0-8 team and put them in multiple games. If you took Kamari Everett off that squad, they wouldn't have been within 30 in any game this year.
Blue, that's probably the realest thing you've ever said, bro.
I mean, that was good. He got me on that.
He's doing it at an elite level. Like I don't care what anyone says. Everyone says like, oh, this person should have it. Kamari Everett has been the best player on his team every single week. And so for me, I think it has to be Kamari Everett here.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, you better get listen, if you was a debater, you was a lawyer, I would be like, that's a reasonable doubt right there. That's some reasonable doubt. All right, next up, Coach of the Year award. All right. Banner going up. Blue has Eric Dooley. I have Eric Dooley. Smash put Vincent Dancy, and Dr. Cavil put Eric Dooley. Hey, Blue, you can pop it off.
Listen, there's no debate. Everyone, like you saw, like when you got the number 1 FCS recruiting class, like that is what it is. And Dion's a close second. But you look at what Eric Dooley's done with PV. They were predicted 4th in their division. They had 0 first-team All-Americans, only 1 total All-American. They were 2-1 in the spring. They get beat by UAPB, and they only beat Texas Southern and Grambling by like a combined 8 points. And then you turn around and you're sitting here at undefeated in the SWAC. You're really 1 win away from making the SWAC championship. There is literally no debate for me. Eric Dooley deserves this award for what he's done at PV. And the whole storyline all year was PV is going to PV it up again. PV is going to choke here. PV is going to choke there. And week in and week out, they have put on a performance. They're the only team in the SWAC right now that has 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards passing, and they have a top 3 defense. You got to go a Dooley here, especially if he gets to the SWAC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going back and forth, much like yourself with Coach Prime. A lot of people had their doubts in terms of what would Jackson State look like, but everybody had doubts on Eric Dooley. Even Texas Southern Tigers thought they were going to get their first win. Nope. Pine Bluff was just rolling around and they got beat up, and everybody's like, well, they going to get well against Prairie View, and Prairie View. Nope. And Grambling, they say, well, Grambling is not that bad. They got a defense. He went down State Fair Classic, checks that box off, buries them. Then he said, all right, we got you. We know what's going to happen now. He's going to Southern, to the Bluff, homecoming, no way, no chance. He checks that box, beats them to death. And so I have to go with Eric Dooley. Not only is he getting it done, he's getting it done in such a stylish way. And I really mean stylish. He is the best dressed coach out here. So in terms of his style and what the style on the field, I'm giving double down. I'm going with Eric Dooley.
Give him double the points. Man, listen, you got to go with Eric Dooley. And everything you said, Blue, everything you said, Doc, is simple. And I'm going to just wrap it up in a bow. Everybody expected Coach Prom to have what Coach Prom has because of you. When you have the number one FCS, the only expectation is for you to be the best team in the SWAC. There's no ifs and buts about it. I'm not going to say his recruiting and his coaching staff did not help, but if we want to talk about nit and picking of coaching, coach of the year is the fact that nobody has come close to, I mean, when PV steps on the field, they offensively, they're the best team, and usually defensively, they're the best team. Now, a lot of people say they haven't played anybody. That could be the case, but they make it look good. Whenever they step off the field, they make it look good. And you can't tell me that anybody had the expectations for PV of what they're doing right now before the end of the season. And if you just take that mindset and you walk into this and you walk into the awards and you're saying, who did I expect to be coach of the year? Nobody would have said Eric Dooley. Everybody would have said Coach Prime. So that factor alone lets me know of how good of a job you're doing as a coach. That's just me.
And that's why, listen, this, and I see the comments, this isn't a greatest coach award. That's why Nick Saban doesn't win the SEC coach of the year every single year. That's why right. Lincoln Riley doesn't win the coach of the year every single year in the Big 12, or Mario Cristobal or Dabo Sweeney. It is literally just to this point in the season, there is not a single person outside of Prairie View's campus who thought they'd be undefeated in the SWAC right now. And if you say you did, you're a liar. And I know I can't trust you because I know you didn't pick them to be undefeated on October 27th.
Blue, I want to add one more. As you said, you talking about recruiting. He did his best case recruiting, it looks like, with Jawan Pass. He just needed that one more piece, and he landed it.
Yeah, and he looks good. Freshman of the Year award. Oh, here we go. Wish I had like some like eerie music, because everybody in that going, they're like, oh, it better be, Blue has Malachi. I have Shador. Smash picked Kobe Dillon. Dr. Cavil went with Shador as well. I will pop mine off because everybody knows I wasn't a Shador fan. Listen, the man's the best freshman, period. I mean, to me, there's no, without Shador, Jackson State is irrelevant. Okay, because what I'm saying to you is that offensive line has been so bad at points. He makes it look magical. And literally he probably has the play of the year, stiff arming the D into the ground, stepping out of his grasp, throwing it and getting a touchdown. My man, that's a freshman of the year moment. That's like a Heisman moment. That's the freshman of the year moment. I picked Shador. What you got, Doc?
That's the exact reason why I gave it to him. That play alone made me say, yep, freshman of the year. We can close the book. Y'all can talk about everything else you want. For me, Shador, I'm going to leave it just like that. It was that simple. Anytime you take a guy, he running off of you, you sling him down like you a linebacker, he's laying down there looking up, talking about what just happened. He threw 6 on you.
And you had him. What's up, Blue?
Yeah, so for me, everyone's saying I'm an idiot. I asked somebody, and apparently you can't win more than one award for the SWAC. So he couldn't, you can't win Defensive Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. So why don't y'all chill out in the comments, because y'all don't know nothing about that. That's why Malachi Wadman is the Freshman of the Year, because Malachi Wadman right now is the best receiver in the SWAC right this second. And he has been for 3 weeks now. In 3 weeks, he's only played 3 weeks of football. He's tied second in the SWAC with 6 touchdowns already. And so I think down the road, they have the huge stage against Southern. They have the huge stage against Alcorn. I think Malachi Wadman by the end of the year is going to win the Freshman of the Year award, because I have Shador picked for another award and he can't win both. So that's why I don't have Shador here.
See, they don't even know, Blue. See, they trying to jump on you.
don't.
They trying to jump on you. They don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Can they get the SWAC bylaws? Just read the bylaws. It's written down.
I'm
Just
telling
read.
you.
Just read.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't even got the SWAC hours. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to reach out to BJ Jones. I reached out to BJ. I was like, BJ, can I get 2 awards? He said, no. I was like,
Like I've seen someone in the comments yell James Houston every 3 awards. He's like, he don't even play offense. So how are you yelling James Houston right now? Like, come on, man. This is crazy.
oh man. All right. DP.
Scotty over there cheating on the exam, man.
Hey man, I was like, hey Blue. I was like,
that.
hey BJ, can I do 2? He said, no. I was like, all right, cool. All right. DPOY. Let's get it popping. Blue, James Houston. Me, James Houston. Smash, Jason Dumas, and Dr. Cavil with the ringer, Isaiah Land. Go ahead, Doc. Tell us why Land.
I like Land. He's getting it done. You know, with solo tackles for loss. When you talk about the sacks and things that he's doing, when you look at combined stuff that he's able to do on one of the best defenses. And they have several players, but he's the one that has stand out to me the most. I mean, he may not be the pro prospect that the other guy we talk about so much, but I like what Isaiah Land has done, especially linebacker position. They don't get enough love in this league. Usually it's defensive front, defensive end, or a cornerback, sometimes a safety. But in this case, I'm going with the linebacker that just likes to eat.
You know what, Doc? I'm gonna have to pull one of your moves. I went back and forth with this one. It was Land and Houston, landed Houston, and
I can see it.
And the reason I was leaning towards Land because he does more with less. And what I mean by that is that the scheme that he runs does not help him as much as it does Houston. Houston gets a lot of free plays based off just how they blitz, it's miscommunication on the line, but he is still a dominant factor whenever he gets blocked. And for me, it's just the way he plays the game with the reckless abandonment that I just absolutely love. And if you go into a game against Jackson State, the first rule is if you don't block 41, you're going to lose. It just is what it is. And for me, that stood out a little bit more than Isaiah Land. So that's why I had to go with that Houston. That Houston.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I went with Houston, is because one, he has more hype than Land, and all these postseason awards are hype awards. So you have to have the social media back, and you have to have the hype around it. And also, as great as Land is, and he leads the SWAC and sacks, James Houston's a game changer. Like, you have to, like Script said, if you don't game plan strictly for James Houston all week, you're getting beat. Yeah, and he's gonna eat you alive. And also, too, I feel like James Houston, he's second in SWACs, first in forced fumbles, second in tackle for loss. A lot of those stats for Land are just one game. They had 5 sacks against South Carolina State. So I feel like consistently James Houston's been a better player. And I feel like offensive and defensive player awards always go to the best player on that side of the ball on the best team. And right now, Jackson State's the best team, so it has to go to James Houston.
That's fair. All right, coming on down, bringing it on down. Last one, OPOY. You know, they say defense wins championship, but they say offense put butts in seats. All right, so Blue goes with Shador. I go with that man Akil Glass. Smash goes with Shador. Dr. Cavil goes with Akil Glass. It's a 50-50 split. I love it. I'm going to go first. Listen, Akil Glass is leading every stat. Nope, he's tied. He's tied with touchdowns, I believe. But he's leading every other stat other than QBR. All right, and everybody wants to go to the Shador efficiency and, oh, my God, he has 70%. Oh, my God. I don't care about all that. All right, Akil Glass, and I tell you guys every week, he has to be the best player for Alabama A&M for them to even be in games. It's just that simple for me. And he still does what he does. He still puts up the stats he does. I have to go with Akil Glass. It's just that simple for me. What you got, Blue?
Yeah, so all the people talking smack in the chat, this is why Shador wasn't the freshman of the year, because he won the bigger award. So go delete y'all's messages real quick. But anyway, Shador Sanders, for me, man, has been the only reason Jackson State is in the position they are. He's doing it with arguably a bottom 3 offensive line in the SWAC right now. Their offensive line is atrocious. I mean, it's one of the worst I've seen. With the size that they have they can't block a soul. They've lost every line of scrimmage battle this season in every single game except for Alabama A&M, and they don't have a person that could challenge anybody. But that's a whole nother conversation. And then 2, he's second in passing yards, first in completion percentage, tied for first for touchdowns, first in passing efficiency. And other than Andrew Body, who didn't start the first few games of the season, he only has 1 pick, and Body has 0 right now, or some quarterback has 0 right now who hasn't played all season. So for me, Shador's been consistently good. He's younger, and I think he's had to come into his own. And for Akil, he hasn't played well in the biggest games that he had to step up in. He played atrociously against Grambling. It wasn't his fault. He played atrociously against Jackson State, and he played atrocious against FAMU down the stretch. So for me, Shador Sanders has put together the best resume in the country. In the SWAC. So for me, it has to be Shador Sanders here.
Blue, let me ask you a question. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to double down on your Jackson State offensive line. Have you seen the Alabama A&M entire defense?
It's bad. It's bad. I'll give you that.
Scotty, have you seen Alabama A&M's defense?
Oh, you know I see them. They like Casper. Just walk right through them. It's nothing. It's nothing.
So the only reason that Alabama A&M has won any games is because of Kill Glass. Yeah, they got a little bit of a running game, but this man has to take hits after day, gets up, and if they're going to win the game, it's a shootout. It's a Kill Glass. You said all the stats. I only have to talk about that again, so I'm not even talking about that. But anytime that you have a question about somebody's defense the way they do, then you have to give a lot of credit to the quarterback, the fact that they're getting it done and even made it close in those games that they lost other than Jackson State.
Because, and let's just a little deeper, because, just a little deeper. You win a game 7-6. You win a game 7-6. You lose a game 7-12. What you win a game 17-22 with Delta State. Every game Glass has played in, they've scored over 24 points other than Jackson State. And we can say if you had half of Jackson State's defense, just half,
right, you
would win most of your games because you're outscoring teams. You know what I'm saying? So I think he averages the passing yards like 300 some yards of passing yards. I think he's the highest average of that. But it's just simply like when you score a certain amount of points in a football game, you're supposed to win the game. And if I go into a game and you win, I'm scoring 31, I'm averaging 30 points a game, and I still can't win. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Exactly.
Because if we're being honest, the first couple games of the season for Jackson State, if they didn't have that defense, they lose all those games because the offense wasn't doing anything. You see what I'm saying? So the defense gave that offense time to get right, and now you're seeing it in its full. I mean, he done opened the clutch up, and he just revving on that thing. But before, that boy was in first gear. They were just trying to get up the hill. So,
and I think you get some points for that when you talk about Shador, and that's why I said freshman of the year, because he's shown his maturation.
Yeah.
In terms of that, he didn't play as well at the beginning. He didn't play ugly or bad, but he didn't play as well as he's playing now. Now, credit to him because his offensive line is not really helping him, whether it's a beginning season or now.
Gotcha.
And they need some help. But Akil Glass, in terms of putting out total yards and touchdowns, he's been consistent over the year against a team that has not been consistent.
Facts. Big facts. All right, guys, listen, the call lines are open. You can call in 516-259-9041, 516-259-9041. And also, real quick, you can catch Dr. Cavil on his YouTube at Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, all right? You can definitely check him out. Go over there, subscribe. Make sure you do that. Once again, call lines are open, 516-259-9041. I know you guys want to ask Dr. Cavil some questions, so please direct all questions to Dr. Cavil. He is in the building, all right? He is in the building. All right, first call is up. Hey, Ryan, you live. Talk to us. Hello? Ryan. Oh, guess he fell off. All right. Hey, Ryan, make sure you call back. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me. Okay, maybe it's me. Let me close out and open this thing back up. All right, guys, I'm gonna close it out and I'm gonna open it back up because I think my stuff is acting up. Uh-oh. Let's see what I got here. Here we go.
There are 4 participants in the conference.
All right, now we're cooking with grease. Hey, Q, you live?
Hey, Scott A, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Hey, bro, you made it. You got Dr. Cavil on the joint, man.
I told you.
How's it going, Doc? What
I'm
up,
doing
Doc?
well. How's it going? How's it going?
Nah, hey, appreciate it. Hey, appreciate everything you've done for Prairie View, not only and also the SWAC conference as well. You know,
I appreciate that. Means a lot.
you know, mother, wife, 2 cousins and an aunt graduated from Prairie View. My scholarship took me to SFA. So I mean, I really appreciate what you've done. So don't hold that against me. I'm pretty sure the comment section will.
No, you good. As long as you showing love for Prairie View and the SWAC, you good. You got to go where the money is.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Like, long as ain't nobody SWAC tripping in here, you know. Nah. Hey, but appreciate it, brother. Hey, I did have a question going back to conference realignment. It's a hot topic. Talk about the aftermath. I know one, there was a rumor that in let's see, about the 2000s or so, that the SWAC was trying to get into the Atlanta market. I think it was the rumor was there was courting Morris Brown prior to them losing their accreditation of going D1, and then that fell through. And right. So if there was a conference realignment or expansion of the SWAC, let's see, what would 2-part question. Would Atlanta be a area, or Georgia, the state of Georgia, would be something that they're interested in hypothetically? And the 2 options would be, I guess, Morehouse and Clark Atlanta. Morehouse is a little bit more tricky because being a middle school and Title IX. I guess only other option maybe doing I guess combine the monetary athletic program with Spelman to meet Title IX compliance, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, appreciate the call, Q.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I have long thought that going into the Atlantic was a huge decision for the SWAC, that they needed to do it. And you're absolutely right that you've done your homework, that there was a chance where they looked at Morris Brown. Oddly as know, if you want to go back in history, they actually got the votes from the athletic directors. They would have had the votes from the presidents, but when they had to make the financial fee, they couldn't quite do it. So the presidents hesitated, and before you knew it, it fell apart. But the school that I would say that you want to look at is the opposite on your side. It's Clark Atlanta University. You want to get in that Atlanta market, and so if you come in, you bring 2 in, it's Tennessee State and Clark Atlanta University. I'm not sure if Tennessee State will come unless the OVC literally falls apart, as it is. So who knows? And then you go after Clark Atlanta University. So you have 2 private schools to partner with Bethune-Cookman. You get in the Atlantic market and you book in the conference between Houston and Atlanta. You'll make all the money in terms of the sponsors. You get it done. And it's just the way that I see it. Also, quietly is kept. When you look at the Carnegie classification academics, and most people don't look at it like this, even though the presidents do and the chancellors do. You talking about a doctoral measured institution, that's Clark Atlanta University. So they bring a lot to the table, even though you hadn't seen them win lately. But they get in the SWAC, that'll change it in terms of recruiting. They will start winning.
That that Atlanta market would be nice. I ain't even gonna lie to you. All right, next caller. Hey, Ryan, you live with us?
Hey, Scotty, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Hey, look, I just wanted to talk about attendance for a minute. I had seen Dion had posted about the average attendance for Jackson State. I think it was ahead of like Cincinnati and Missouri. My question, I seen a lot of backlash about that. because I think a lot of people was talking about the capacity. You know, Jackson State Stadium holds 60,000. Cincinnati holds 30,000. I was trying, like, what was the problem with that post they had made?
Hey, appreciate the call, Ryan.
All
right. Go ahead, Blue. I know you chopping at the bit, Blue. Go ahead.
Man, the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way about that post, I had no problem with any school on that list other than Cincinnati, because all the other schools weren't selling out. So it was a fair comparison because Jackson State was outselling them and getting people in the seats. But Cincinnati's averaging a sellout this year. So they are going to capacity week in and week out, and y'all are acting like, oh, man, we just bring more people. It's like, literally can't. They have 100% capacity, and y'all are selling out at like 57%, talking crazy.
Yeah, just like what you want them to do. Stand on
like
top
what you want Cincinnati to do? Add bleachers in the middle of the game? And that's the only reason I had a problem is because of the snarky comment by Tiger Talk 2, where it was like men lie, women lie. I was like, y'all's numbers are lying too. Like, it's just every other team on there was valid because they weren't averaging the sellout. But to say like, oh, Cincinnati, because they don't have a bigger stadium than us, we're better than them. It's like, bro, like, just chill out. Like, the thing that gets me is Jackson State has so many great things going that you can talk about, and then you still trying to kind of like, you know, use statistics that ain't telling the whole story to even make it better. And it's like, you don't have to do that. But that's my perspective. People don't agree, and I really don't care because I know it's a fact that Cincinnati's averaging a sellout, but it's fine.
You got anything on that, Doc?
No, I like the way he said it. It's like, what do you want them to do? Put people on the field, literally during the middle of the game? Like,
oh, man, let's get another caller.
We understand that, you know, math is hard to a lot of folks. So
let's get another caller here. Hey, caller. Hey, caller, you live. Turn your background down.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
What's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Cavil calling from Arizona.
All right, talk to me.
Hey, how come y'all didn't do a should have stayed at home mid-season awards?
Ooh.
That's all I
I like that one. I like that, Calvin. That would have been a good one. I would have got lit on that shit. I ain't even listen to you. Hey, that's.
Hey, I'm going. I wonder what y'all got to say. I'm going.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Should have stayed at home awards. You know who I'm gonna pop it off at quarterback? Rashad McKay. I'm sorry. Rashad, no, I'm not gonna go there. He's not that bad. It would have to be for me. Should have stayed at home awards. Probably have to be Bethune-Cookman. Their situation at quarterback, you don't know who's gonna play. Delvin, I think it's Delvin Davis. Is that Delvin Black or something like that? Then Shannon Patrick, back and forth. Let me see. Defensive player that should stay at home. Defensive player that should have stayed.
I can do a unit.
Oh, Alabama A&M.
That's too easy. How about UAPB? You had one of the best secondaries in the spring, and now you're giving up like 350 a game. So I'm going with UAPB's defense as well. Alabama A&M and UAPB's defense, they get the award. We can cut it in half. One of them gets each half of it, and then the offense. You got to go with Ryan Nettles. I love Ryan Nettles. Listen, I love Ryan Nettles, but for me, I thought I was expecting so much more from him. He showed so much promise his freshman year, and to lose his job and play like he did this season was a big disappointment for me because I thought if he took that step, and I'm not talking about a leap, I'm just talking about take a half a step from where he was in the spring. For me, Alabama State would be right there, you know, in that I guess divisional race with FAMU and Jackson State, but he took like a large step down. And so for me, I think Ryan Nettles for me was the biggest disappointment on the offensive side of the ball.
You got anything, Doc?
Well, the biggest thing I'm talking about is Arkansas Pine Bluff when you look at the defensive side of it. And I'm going to go similar, like I said, A&M. If there is a worse defense to Alabama A&M, you might have to say Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions. Yeah, I was looking at offense in terms of quarterback, so I was trying to be nice to Pine Bluff in a lot of ways, but let's pick on them. Arkansas Pine Bluff. They'll get a chance to wake up this weekend. If not, it's going to be a long rest of the season. They might not find another conference win.
I think in the last but not least for me, the coach I gotta leave at the house is Donald. I'm sorry, bro. Like now I know I gotta leave you at the house, bro. Like listen, bonds, kick it up, feet up, just relax. Gotta leave you at the house because that defense to me could get you a couple wins. I don't know, and I'm not talking about and let's talk about the Jackson State game. You're 7-7 at the half. You have the ball on the midfield with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and you don't take a shot. Stay at the house. Oh, no. Stay at the house. Don't need you. If you're making calls like that, stay at the house, my boy. All right, let me get another call on here real quick. Let me see.
He was the one saying, take the shoe with you. I was like, man, you thought he was going to come in there ready to talk some noise.
Come on, you gotta be more aggressive than that. You over here talking mess. You know what I'm saying? Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me. Where your name? Where you come from?
Yeah, Dwayne, FAMU.
Oh God, what's up, Dwayne?
Mr. Dwayne.
Hey, welcome to the show, Dr. Cavil.
Oh, appreciate it.
Enjoy your intake. Watch the show every week.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
So, can we just go ahead and admit that the crap that happened in the spring was just that crap? The big boys came home and none of those teams are really doing what they did in the spring.
Is there a question on here?
Oh man, Mr. Dwayne said the Rattlers came in and just wiped everybody out.
Yeah. So right quick, because I was going to ask about the playoffs. So, Dr. Cavil, the possibility from your perspective, I know what OFFScript, Scotty and Blue already think, but from your perspective, the Rattlers making the playoffs.
Thank you for the call, Dwayne. And go listen to go listen to his answer.
Enjoy the show, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, if FAMU wins out, they'll get a serious consideration and chance to make the tournament. And this is why, because not only are they lobbying loud, if they can get it done, they're also having backdoor channels in terms of talking to the NCAA officials that, we want to be included. And so this could get ugly. So I think if they do their part, they will get serious considerations. And I think the other teams are starting to beat them up. I think the one thing that people may not be looking at is that you have these conferences that are split up. And so their records are not as good as they usually are because they played more non-conference games. So instead of Southland getting the 2 or 3 they get, OVC maybe sneaking into the Sun Atlantic, now you're splitting up those bids. So there's a room that you might get a chance to be able to have a team like FAMU get in terms of if they're able to run the tables.
Dwayne, get your style points up, my boy. Get your style. Listen, you're not making it no easier.
That's true. They got to do better than
come on, man.
And then making it a close call and getting lucky that the guy slipped on 4th and 1.
Come on, man. Get your style points up.
And on top of that, man, everyone pushed back on the harder scheduling, but now it's coming back to bite y'all. That is why you got to stop playing D2 teams. If you want to go to the playoffs, get the D2. I'm looking right here. Jackson State, 101st in strength of schedule. Prairie View, 107. Alcorn, 109. FAMU has the 111th ranked hardest schedule in the entire FCS right now. 111.
That D2 win will hurt them.
Yeah, and on top of that, these are the other teams these are some of the other teams that have at-large bids in the Hero Sports prediction. You fight in Northern Illinois, the number 3 ranked strength of schedule, whose only loss is to North Dakota State. You got Incarnate Word, 39th strength of schedule, who just beat Prairie View, who might be in the SWAC championship, 41-9. Smacked them. That's who you're going up against. Missouri State, the 4th ranked strength of schedule. Weber State, 8th ranked strength of schedule. Plus, they just beat the number 2 team in the country with Eric Berrier, who is the best FCS player in the country right now at quarterback. UC Davis, 55 strength of schedule, plus an FBS win. And Montana, 24th ranked strength of schedule with an FBS win over a top 20 team.
Well, maybe not, FAMU. Maybe not.
Hey, Dr. Cavil, let me ask you what time you got to get up out of here, because this call lines are racking up, and I don't want to keep you.
I can go to probably 8:15 or so.
Okay, so where we at? Okay, 3 minutes. All right, cool. Let's see here. I'm gonna take about 2 more callers. All right, 2 more callers. If you're if you're a member, put your name in the chat so you can skip this line. Hey, Mr. Campbell, you live? Talk to me.
Yeah, glad you got me. Okay, first of all, great show. But Blue, I got to get on you. I keep telling you about these apples and oranges. First of all, the University of Cincinnati got 30,000 students. Jackson State got 10,000. So Jackson State always over-index when people come in. And Cincinnati is the number 2 ranked team in the nation. So they should sell out that state. And they got another 15,000 grad students that come. So you can't compare the two, bro. So yes, Deion can put that on there because it does make a difference. So I had to correct that. But you my guy, though. I love you. Dr. Bill,
I love that.
I'm old school. I watch the show. But I want to ask you a question about a comparison of what I've seen of somebody that's been around with Florida A&M and what I've kind of seen. What do you think about the talent that has now come into the SWAC that looks pro potential? Because when I was coming up, I'm originally from Jackson. I saw those powerhouse Jackson State teams, those powerhouse Grambling teams, and everyone, Alcorn, Valley, I saw Jerry Rice, and every one of those teams had NFL quality players. Do you see that now coming back with the SWAC now, where each one of these schools you can see a guy, hey, I can see him going to the league, I can see him going to the league? Do you see that kind of building based on what Deion is bringing now, a high tide raises all boats?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it was slowly going in that direction with a couple of players here and there. I think the expansion of the conference certainly helped get you in the Florida market. It raises up FAMU, which means it raises up the SWAC. And then the Coach Prime factor took it to another level. So absolutely, when you talk about all these factors with players taking a double look, and I think one other factor that people are not talking about enough is NIL. It's going to be a change maker just in general. And then when you put that force multiplier on there, no doubt about it, that this is where you're going to start to see a lot more players getting the opportunity to be in the NFL.
I appreciate the call.
I'm going to make one more statement. I know
Go ahead.
I got one more thing I'm going to jump on. Also, I think what is real I've seen, because I've got a lot of friends who have players playing, sons that are playing D1, the transfer portal. I'm seeing a lot of kids that are like, you know what? I can go to HBCU now, and it's not going to hurt me as much. So, hey, guys, great show. Just wanted to put that out there. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate the call, Mr. Campbell. All right, so I'm going to try to get all you guys, all these fans, all these members. These are all members, so I'm trying to get these members in real quick.
Cool, go ahead.
Hey, go ahead, caller. You live. Talk to me. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Am I?
Yeah, you on.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, man. Scotty, what's up, man? Straight from Toronto, Blue Bloods, Dr. Cavil, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good. What's going on?
We're good.
I'm good, man. I just wanted to call to apologize to all the Prairie View people out there, because last time I was on, I insulted you guys, because I was like, I don't know why in Toronto they're showing Prairie View games, but now, you guys are doing pretty well. I just wanted to call. I saw that you were on, so I just had to get that off my chest. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. Much respect.
Hey, that's love. Hey, appreciate the call, my boy.
No doubt. Take care, guys.
I remember. Hey, he said, man, Dr. Cavil on here. I just gotta do the right thing. Oh man. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
What's up, Scotty? This is Bud from Jackson, Mississippi. I got a quick question for Doc. Hey, with Deion Sanders being the ultimate showman, I really took the fact that he put the attendance up there as a way to kind of tell, like Conference USA and Sunbelt to kind of look at me. Do you think that Jackson State could possibly have a desire to move up to the FBS level. That's why they really been pushing attendance lately. Every time a game come up, it's been, we need to fill up the stadium. Hey, I want to see the fans come out. And I think the end game is maybe because they possibly have some interest in wanting to move up into one of them conferences. I'll sit back and listen to you guys, see what you got to say about
Hey,
this.
appreciate the call, my boy.
I don't necessarily know the interest to move up to one of those conferences, but I know for a fact there's interest in many of the SWAC schools, if not the entire SWAC, to move up to the FBS. The first part in terms of Coach Prime is a marketing genius. He did it strictly for branding and marketing and nothing else, and he does it better than just about anybody in the business.
Simple.
Yeah, and on top of that, the CUSA, I don't know if that you tuned in earlier, the AAC, all these teams are calling Jackson State, they're calling FAMU, they're going to call these SWAC teams very, very soon. And we talked earlier about if they can get a deal in place where they can give a Jackson State 3-5 years to get all their affairs in order, they are definitely going to jump up to the group of 5. And I think it would be, I've been calling for it since the spring, but we'll see.
All right, last caller for the night. Hey, Keith Younger, you're live. Talk to me.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hey. Hello.
Yeah, you're live.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Scotty? How you doing, man?
What's good? What's good?
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of background. Okay.
You gotta turn your background down.
Wait. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody attending the Alcorn Jackson State game at the end of the year? Is any of y'all coming to the game? Y'all gonna represent?
I am.
Any one of y'all coming to the game?
I'll be there.
I got plans right now.
Okay. So you come to the game. So where can I meet you at? Because I need to meet you. I need to be to talk to you.
I'm listen, I'm like public enemy number 1 in Jackson State, so you gonna see about
you are public enemy number 1. Yes, you are.
So you're gonna see about 2 bodyguards. You're gonna see me because you're gonna see 2 bodyguards on my side. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be riding through like the boat.
Cool. We're gonna see because we
will be on the opposite side of Scotty if he is like that
this year, and we coming from everybody. We play to win. We're not playing no more. We play to win the game. We're gonna beat Alcorn, and we're gonna beat Prairie View for the SWAC championship.
Not so bad.
Book it.
All right, appreciate the call, my boy.
We go.
All right, Doc, we're gonna let you go. Me and Blue. Hey, Blue, if you want to stay with me on, we can take a couple more of these callers. Somebody said they wanted to thank you real quick. So I'm bringing them on real quick. He said he wanted to thank you, Dr. Cavil.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead.
Hey, caller, keep it short and sweet. I know. You said you wanted to thank him. Go ahead. I got you. You live.
Yeah. Dr. Cavil, man. This is Coach Pep. I'm calling you from Kenner, Louisiana.
What's going on, Coach?
I want to thank you for the support and recognition you giving my son up at Langston University.
Man, it's my pleasure.
I know Blue don't know nothing about this here, but Langston University do have wins over UIW. So even though it's an NAIA school, even though I am Alcornite, I like to thank you for that. And I would like to ask each and every one of you guys a question. Say I'm handicapping a football game, and all 3 of the teams have one common opponent. What do I handicap them on? The defense or the offense? And let me give you a prime example. I got Mississippi Valley, and I got Florida A&M, and I got Alcorn. How do I handicap? Say Alcorn is going to go play Florida A&M. Both of them just got through playing Mississippi Valley. What do I handicap that game on?
I appreciate the call. If I'm a betting man, you gotta stop the run with Alcorn. I gotta take something away from you. I gotta take the run away from you. Felix Harper is gonna have to throw you in a game. He's gonna have to consistently throw you. See, what the thing about Felix, if you really watch his game, he's a rhythm quarterback, straight rhythm guy. If you get him off his mark, if you get him out of his rhythm, he's not the best. And he likes to throw that RPO a lot, that backside RPO. So I would stop the run. I just gotta stop. I'm gonna shorten the box. I'm gonna stop the run, and I'm gonna come get him. What you got on? What you got on, guys?
Point on the money.
Want us
That's
to give
exactly it. I would say is you got to get him off his square because he likes to sit in there and feel comfortable. Now the thing is once you get him off the square, you have to have a kind of a spy because he will run and then make plays. So you got to keep your head on a swivel. But if you can get to him and make him uncomfortable, he'll start making some mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did want to shout out and said, as Scotty said earlier, we talked about this. He said, one of the reasons he's brought me on is to give some of that love in terms of broader than the SWAC. So shout out to the young man in Langston. We're going to continue to bring it. And that's one of the platforms we have. And I want to thank Scotty for giving me the opportunity to get on here to talk about not just the SWAC, but to give a broader perspective of all HBCUs in general.
You to go.
And I mean, to handicap a game, I mean, I guess it depends on where it's played because home field's worth like 3 points. So I would say it's like a 4 or 5 point spread. So I would say FAMU might be like a 2-point favorite or something like that if we're going to handicap a game. But I think it would be a great test to see Alcorn go up against that defense for FAMU, especially that front seven against that offensive line. That would be a matchup to watch with Isaiah Landon and the boys against that O-line that struggled. So for me, I think that would be a great matchup to watch. But you would have to force that run game to be shut down for FAMU if you're Alcorn. You got to put it on Rashawn McKay to throw against your secondary, or it could be a long day if you let that running attack get going.
That is true. Once again, thank you, Dr. Cavil, for taking the time out, man. I know you're a busy man, and when I tell you, I appreciate you for having for you coming onto the platform. I love it. I know everybody else has loved it, and you are always welcome on here whenever you got some free time.
Appreciate that. Much love. Appreciate you having me. It's nice to meet you, Blue. Keep up the great work. Shout out to you covering HBCUs and the broader FCS programs. I appreciate that. Let's continue to do it, Scotty. Keep growing and keep doing your thing anytime, and I appreciate the invite.
No, anytime. Thanks, Dr. Cavil. Appreciate you. All right, y'all give it up for Dr. Cavil. Ooh, wrong button.
Wow, man.
Hey, listen, I'm going to take this last caller. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's Mr. Ford. Talk to me, Mr. Ford.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know you got your people on here. I'm not going to be long. First of all, I need your followers in this chat to cool out with the disrespect of the University of Cincinnati. Luke Fickell is one of the top 10 coaches in America. Those people made a commitment from the president and the ADs to make Cincinnati a program. And don't be shocked now if Cincinnati ends up in the playoff. And this stuff that your followers are saying about Cincinnati, they don't know what they're talking about. Now, here's the other thing. I want y'all to bear with me. This is what I'm hearing. Okay. Florida A&M barely beat Mississippi Valley. Jackson State barely beat Delta State. But you telling me it's time for them to go to the group of 5. I don't get that. Okay, now, a few years back, if you go back to the end of Billy Joe's era at Florida A&M, somebody got stupid down at Florida A&M and said, since we did so good in 1995, it's time for us to play Oklahoma and Virginia State. Go find out how that worked out. Go back and do your research and find out how that worked out. But my last thing I want to say to Dr. Cavil is this. The last time Texas Southern had a decent program was Johnny Cole. What's the problem at Texas Southern? And one of the things I'm noticing about Texas Southern is y'all need to get rid of the high school defense coordinator you got. So, Dr. Cavil, is it going to be another 20 years before Texas Southern has a championship team? And I'm going to let y'all handle that. Have a good night.
You too, Mr. Ford. I guess he wasn't watching to see that Dr. Cavil is gone. Apologize, Mr. Ford, but we don't really know the answer to that. We just hope that Texas Southern gets what they need to get. All right. To get going. Hey, y'all, listen. Make sure y'all check out Blue Blood, his channel. He has a video with an FCS writer, a sports writer, talks about all things FCS playoffs, all the missed notions, all the confusions, who pays for this, what takes that, who gets ticket money. It's really, really, really good. All right. Because I know you guys are just going to skip to the part where it's all the misconceptions and myths because y'all don't know nothing about FCS teams they talking about. But it is a good show. It is a good video. Make sure you guys tune into that. And you already know my boy when he's going to have the stats for you and he's going to have his prediction this week. All right. So until next time, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thanks again to Dr. Cavil for coming through. Smash, I hope you're doing better down there in Baton Rouge, my boy. But until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.